I hope you all are having a fantastic afternoon. This is Atmospheric Alex here, bringing you a U.S. weather forecast on some weather, I guess. Really, there won't be much weather over the next couple of weeks, and I will explain why in today's video. So firstly, we are going to take a look at the National Weather Service and the current watches, warnings, and advisories that are across the country here. There's not really much to point out, obviously. It's becoming quite quiet out there, other than your flash flooding up here in New Jersey and New York. Long Island got, wow, slammed with tons of rain last night. And I think there was even a flash flood emergency for those areas. So hopefully everyone out there is doing well right now. And I just absolutely pray that recovery efforts are underway, if anybody was caught in those floodwaters. We also have some heat advisories and excessive heat warnings down here for the deep southern plains here. Temperatures here today could get upwards of 105 degrees, so if you have to be outside at all, be very cautious. We also have some fire weather concerns across portions of Idaho, Nevada here, and more excessive heat warnings, typical southeastern California and southern Arizona, where temperatures will be getting very hot today. So let's break this down a little further. We're going to take a look at our GFS model and its temperature outlook over the next 10 days. I won't go beyond that because there'll be a lot of uncertainty, so we'll go 240 hours out. You could see, excessive heat going on today across portions of North Texas and southern Oklahoma. Like I said, temperatures upwards of 105 degrees are certainly possible out there today. Going through into tomorrow, your heat continues to build out there, and I also want to note here that your much cooler air begins to set in. A nice trough of low pressure begins to dig way, way down, from the northeast, midwest regions to the Ohio Valley, even portions of the southeastern U.S. here. Temperatures, get this, could be down into the low 50s. It looks like tomorrow morning and Wednesday morning. Look at this for Pennsylvania. Some spots there in the mountains, it could be talking about low 40s, even upper 30s. So extraordinarily unseasonably cool conditions out there. And, this could honestly break some records. We'll have to see. And then you also have your warmth down here. You won't be getting much relief overnight, unfortunately. Temperatures still approaching the low 90s across North Texas there, even on Wednesday morning. Now, your daytime highs on Wednesday are going to be very nice across a lot of areas in the 60s up here in the Northeast, even some Midwest. Temperatures still cooking hot down here in Texas. This is fairly normal for this time of year, though. It just gets hot down there all the time. Even South Dakota breaching 100 degrees there, so just summertime conditions at this point, so really nothing too abnormal. The abnormalities are back out to your east with these low temperatures. My gosh, it feels like fall out there. Heat continues, same song and dance, just there's really no differences here. We keep building and building and building, and finally some of this heat here begins to spread out as we see a bit of a pattern change here with a northwest flow being to rip here across the northern plains, the Midwest Ohio Valley. Temperatures could get upwards, the mid to upper 90s, even low 100s across some of these areas down here. So just, again, typical conditions for the summer. Just please don't be outside for too long. And really, your heat continues, and there's really nothing else to report on there. It's just heat, just tons of hot air. And that is what it looks like through your 10-day, according to your GFS model. Now, what about rainfall? What's your precipitation looking like? Well, we're noticing some showers and maybe even some thunderstorms today across portions of the Northeast going into the Mid-Atlantic Southeast regions, especially along the Appalachian Mountains, could get some upslope flow. And you could even see some storms firing up. Up here we're talking South Dakota, Nebraska, portions of Colorado. So overall, looking pretty quiet, though. Other than I said, than the Rockies, some of Canada here. are probably going to be seeing daytime thunderstorms. We are seeing tons of storm activity up here in portions of Canada. Very dry conditions, I will say, basically across the board at this point, other than the Rockies and California. That's interesting. But we're looking at that here. Very dry, pleasant conditions. Hot down here, of course, but much more pleasant as you go further east. Except Florida, who will be dealing with daily thunderstorms just constantly, it looks like. And then finally, as we head more into late August here, we're starting to see more of your frontal systems come in, maybe shake up things just a little bit, have your next trough digging down here. So we'll just have to see. From this point on, these systems will probably start getting bigger as we head closer to fall, and then the winter time, can't forget about that, right? Now, it's a tale of two models, because your European model here is going to show a slightly different outcome. Still talking excessive heat down here for Texas, Arizona hot, even southwestern California, and temperatures up here going into the northeast, nice and cool. This is what we like to see. You know, summertime heat's fun and all, but we've had enough of it. Like, we need the cooler weather already, right? And they're going to be getting it, thank goodness. And a lot of areas here are just cooked, especially down here. Southern Plains, hot every single day. We just can't break out of that pattern. Just, you know, summer having its typical wrath over those areas here. And our last frame of the European model, it kind of shows a big return of the heat back out east, so we'll just have to watch that. Nothing significant, just like your mid to upper 80s at the very most, so not that bad, you know, just nice pool weather out there, not too cold, and especially not too hot. Now moving on to your precipitation forecast from the European model, showers and thunderstorms once again dominate southeast, mid-Atlantic, going into the northeast here, and then Florida getting your storm activity all the time. But this trough, you could really see digging down here. Look at all your nice little lines here. Just a very good looking fall pattern, if you were to ask me. So just tons of cooler air across that entire region there. And storm activity along your boundary here, basically where your cold front can't go any further off to your west, and then your warm air can't go any further off to the east. You get a nice little boom right within here of thunderstorm activity that could start to rip through. Some of these storms can be severe, of course. That's also typical for this time of year to see that. More severe weather for Canada. They're going to be under the gun, it looks like, for the next 10 days. So just be mindful there. And a potential severe weather event here, noteworthy on the European model. You see some supercellular structures here firing off, so hey, I mean, your break could get interrupted upwards in Minnesota, Manitoba, by maybe some severe weather, maybe tornado concerns. We'll have to keep monitoring the forecast. And really, pattern continues, daily thunderstorms, monsoon activity, you get the idea down there for the mountains. Just overall, a very wet pattern, it looks like, in store out here for the central U.S. into Canada, but for the eastern U.S., looking quite dry out here and just very tranquil indeed. What we all needed to hear, right? And by our last frame, whoa, okay. Let's just kind of stop it there before we get ahead of ourselves. We don't want to be trusting the models 10 days out here. But hey, severe weather, like I said, could make a return. We'll just have to wait and see. Well, looks like that was quite a short video. Thank you all so much for watching. And if you did... Oh, wait a minute. Why did this change colors? Am I not done yet? Is there something I'm missing? Or do I have a surprise, maybe? This is a little bit different. I wouldn't go off topic without being an Atmo Alex video. If you notice here, I purposely put the word clear here in different colors. Why did I do that? Well, we're going to look at maybe some clearer nights, over the next week or two, which means if there are northern lights that may occur, you might be able to see them. How can we tell if there is going to be any? It's a little complicated, right? Well, we're looking at our sun right now. I know we kind of derailed this a little. You can see all your sunspots here, and these areas here in particular could launch some solar storm activity, which could in turn cause auroras. We'll just have to see through time. These are extraordinarily hard to predict, But as a rotating Earth view, we could see something. And here is your cloud cover forecast. I mean, hey, look at this. Very, very clear skies. And, this will be a norm, it looks like, for the majority of the central to eastern U.S. Just kind of take a look at this. Yeah, you do have some cloud cover overnight, but especially as we get through that peak timing, really not that bad here. If you get a break in the cloud and you're looking north, you could see something. We'll just have to wait and see. I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket yet and say, oh, you're going to get a crazy northern light show. Look outside now. No. This is what space weather professionals are for, and I'm not exactly one of them. I'm just saying, if we see this activity pick up, your skies will likely be clear. So you have your nice clear slot. I mean, just take a look at this. Very beautiful for northern light watching across much of your high latitude regions here. And with that being said, thank you all so much for tuning into today's video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please hit that like button because it'll help YouTube pick up this video, spread it to more people if they really want to know about this quiet weather pattern. And feel free to share with friends and family if you want, and feel free to subscribe to help grow my little corner of the weather community. And with that, I'll see you all in the next video. Have a beautiful afternoon.